Today I'm going to show you how to change your front brake pads and rotors for a VE Commodore. G'day folks, my name is Brendan. Let's get straight into this, replacing the pads and rotors on this VE Commodore. Really easy to do, you don't need all that many tools, certainly a DIY job, and only takes about an hour's time. So the first thing we're going to want to do is pop the wheel nut caps off, then we can just loosen off the wheel nuts with a breaker bar before we raise the wheel up off the ground. Then, time to get the jack. So now under the arch behind the front wheel, we want to aim to get the jack on this notched area here out of the front side skirt there. That's where we want to put our jack, and then we can put our jack stand on there as well. Now we can buzz our wheel off. So this is what we're working with. Obviously our rotor, our brake caliper, and our pads either side inside here. To get the caliper off, there's two 12mm nuts and there's an 18mm spanner we need to get on this locking piece that's part of the slider. So we put an 18mm spanner on here, 12mm socket or spanner on there, undo this bolt, the caliper slides away, we can get our pads out. Then to get this carrier piece off, there's two 18mm bolts in behind here. We get those two off. That makes this this carrier come away. That allows us to slide off the rotor. Then it's all basically reinstallation in reverse. Our two 12mm out. The caliper pops away. We can tuck that in behind here. And our pads are now accessible. Now if you're only changing pads, this is all you need to remove. You can remove your old pad with a bit of a wiggle. Maybe we'll, there we go. And then install your new one. If you want to remove the rotor, we now need to remove this carrier piece. With our two 18mm off, that carrier comes away easily. These can kind of cake on a little bit, so the rubber mallet helps get it away from the hub surface. Everything old is now gone, time to install the new stuff. Now I got myself a set of run-of-the-mill DBA rotors, just your normal street car spec stuff, and a set of Bendix heavy-duty pads. Heavy duty because this also does some towing this car, and I thought a little bit of extra bite wouldn't hurt. Normal road car stuff, if you're doing anything more than normal road car things, you might need to consider higher spec pads and rotors. Now I do recommend you check the paperwork that comes with your rotor. It does detail what you need to do in terms of cleaning and the like. In the case of this one, they are actually painted, so we need to clean the sort of painted surface where the pads will contact. We don't want to touch things that the pads aren't going to contact, because that prevents rust by leaving that paint on there. Likewise, it's a good idea to clean our hub, give that a bit of a wipe, although it's not too bad as it is. Then we can get to work on reinstallation. need to get our caliper back on over the new pads. They'll be a bit thicker than the old ones, so we may need to push the pistons back into the caliper a little bit. We'll do that now. So you see we've got 2 pistons in this caliper, and the gap between the pistons, where my thumb's pointing, and this piece here, where my thumb's poking, that used to be filled with the rotor and the 2 brake pads. Now the 2 new brake pads are thicker, likewise the new rotor is thicker. So that gap now needs to be larger than what it currently is. What we need to do is push these 2 pistons back that way into the piston's bore. Now that gives us a bigger gap here, so we can get them onto the brakes there. Then once we put our foot down on the brake pedal, push these pistons back out and press the pads to the rotor. It all makes sense, right? Now our pistons are back in, we can slide our caliper. Then we just reinstall our 2 12mm bolts. With that all buttoned up, throw our wheel on, and then we're done. Except we've now got to do the other side. Of course, don't forget to torque up your wheel nuts and then reinstall the little plastic caps. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As you saw, very easy job to do. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.